our side. Ignacio, can you see them?
Somebody said they can see the gallery view now.
Oh, okay, good.
Now we are seeing it, they say. Now we are seeing it. Okay, it just started working. Okay, I see the interpreters. Yay, yay, yay. I can see now. Everyone is seeing it. Yay! Okay, great.
Great.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Okay, great. All right, let us begin.
Yes, all the housekeeping. Great. Hello again, and just a few notes before we go into the webinar. I wanted to encourage everyone, in case you haven't yet, please sign up for our newsletter. You can see links to our newsletter all over our website, heal2end.org. And it comes out once a month, last Monday, and next one is coming out tomorrow. So please sign up so you can get the one that's going out tomorrow. And these sessions will be recorded and at a later date released again in the newsletter. You can get more information about where to see that. And right now, would love to introduce our ASL interpreters today. Ignacio, would you like to introduce them?
Yes, we have the wonderful Felice Shays, and I would love for them to introduce themselves, and Rodney Lebon, so please do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rodney Lebon. I currently live in Washington, D.C. One interpreter today.
My name is Felice Shays, and I'm in Brooklyn, and I'm thrilled to be here. Really honored and thrilled. I've known Ignacio for a bazillion years, and yeah, I'm just really excited to be here and very excited to meet Aredvi and work with Rodney. So, you know, excitement all around. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you. We really appreciate y'all being here, and we're really working hard at the HEAL Project to think about accessibility in a lot of ways. And so we were very, very happy to be able to provide this because we were working with closed captions. And first of all, Zoom sucks with closed captions. And we just felt like this was a better option. And so we want to try to be thinking more about that. So thank you to the both of you. Yes, and so we want to be having a great conversation today, part one about digital sexting, audio and video. And we're going to have the last probably 20 to 30 minutes at the end for Q&A. And we're going to have a resource package which we'll send to participants and have on our website afterwards.
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And also, if you are joining us on YouTube, you can have closed captions on. We will try to go fix that later when we release the recorded versions. And if you can think of any other ways we can do better around accessibility, please reach out and let us know.
Yeah. Also, before we start talking about the good stuff, we also just wanted to do a note on age of consent. We put this out there, and this is the interwebs, so anyone has access to getting this information, which is good. But we also want to make sure that if a young person gets this information, which is also good, that we want to just put out there that if you are sexting and you send images of yourself nude, you have to understand the laws within your jurisdiction. So we are going to have links and information for young people around sexting and age requirements and what child pornography is considered. So it's something really important to know because these laws are very arbitrary, meant to protect, but sometimes are very harsh when young people are trying to express sexuality. So we will be giving a lot of that information at the end. So I wanted to give some information about that.
Yes, there will be in the resource package that we'll release later. There'll be several links to knowing your rights and just the legality of how all of that can work. And also another note, as we talk today, we really want to keep in mind that as it should always be, sex and fucking and all of that good stuff is something that should be available and accessible. And we always keep in mind for folks who are disabled, issues of aging, issues of being undocumented immigrants, um, being sex workers, being survivors. So we really want to today have a broader perspective of what it looks like to get online or on your phone and connect with other people, no matter who you are, and even if you do hold some marginalized identities or some limitations.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we even talked about what that would even look like, even having this, saying fucking, like cyber fucking, when we talk about asexuality, even fucking with fucking, what that means. What does it mean to be asexual, and what does it mean to want to be fucking with fucking? What individuals talk about when we wanna be intimate? What does intimacy look like? What does being with another body looks like, right? So even talking about that, what does sexting, is that a concept? Sexting look like? What does that entail for someone? So even thinking outside of the box on that, right? So what we want to do is have like this organic conversation and talk about all the ways in which that we've thought about, and even I've experienced these kinds of things, a little storytelling and such, and give some kind of ways in which these things could be really exciting, especially in this time right now when we have the absence of touch, when we have the absence of connection in the ways in which we want to, right? We cannot be kissing and touching and being next to one another the way we may want to. And even if we weren't people that were really about the cuddling and stuff, we're in a place where we're told we cannot, right? And so that shifts things for us in big ways. So one of the things I wanted to start with was like the title. I was saying to Aredvi that it was like this, we call, the title is Digital Sex, Sexting, Audio and Video. And I said, oh, we should have called it audio, sexting and video, because it's like this play on words for me, like audio, almost in this like auditory thing, and no, I mean like this digital. I was saying digital, using the word digital with fingers, and digital with like the phone, using the phone, almost thinking about it in this historical context, because as we think about this virus, many people, and including us, have been talking about this parallel, if you may, with HIV, the HIV virus, and how people have been responding to it. And so when HIV hit, there was a total increase in the amount of people calling, hotlines, and then also going into chat rooms and stuff, right? Because that was like, what do I do now, right? Because how do I get my groove on when this is happening in, my community? So there was such a rise in that. So it made me think about that kind of, that digital historical piece for me, Yeah. And also the word fucking, like I was just saying, like this word fucking. I like fucking with fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I love about doing this webinar series is that while a lot of us are forced to not have that in-person touch, I really feel like it's also timeless, because for some of us, some people, maybe they prefer to not have that close contact for many reasons, right? So really utilizing all these other ways of connections, right. I think can be really great too. So and I'm sure for those who have been doing long distance relationships, or for just so many reasons, being forced to not being away, but there's really a lot of people who that's what they prefer, to actually do cyberfucking in however shape and form, right?
Yeah.
So while we are talking about this subject right now because of what's happening, I really like to think about this as something that hopefully folks can use anytime, even hopefully after this is over very soon.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I know that I prefer, I mean, we're going to talk about the different kinds of stuff, but I definitely prefer the video stuff for me. I'm more of a video person for sure, but I can get into the audio stuff, but I love the video stuff.
See, I'm more of a text person.
I do like the video. I like a little bit of all of it, but definitely the video stuff. But, you know, we talked a little bit about, and you asked me just before about this privacy versus security, and also accessibility. And that comes into play, especially now with everybody being on, you know, the interwebs and, you know, on all these platforms. What is secure? That's one piece of it, right? With, you know, people want to get on FaceTime all the time. And I'm like, no, don't get on that because there was some security breach and all that, right? And then it stays on and people could see what you're doing. And I have like black tape on my computer or camera because I'm scared someone's gonna tap in and see me. And so it's like, what's encrypted? What is good for security purposes? What can you be using if you're gonna be naked and doing stuff on video or even texting, you know, very private stuff. So I think about that. But when you ask me that question about privacy, that's a whole nother thing too, like privacy. And I really thought about undocumented, you know, like immigration stuff, you know, because we're talking about sex, yes, but still, these are things that say they're investigating your relationships and stuff, you know, looking for stuff and they're looking through your shit and they find, you know, proof of shit. So it's like this is about privacy, right? So sometimes I often say, you know, pleasure and desire is such a privilege and it shouldn't be. You know, it should be a right, but it's such a privilege. So, you know, thinking about it in that way, privacy, security, and then also accessibility. For some people, certain platforms are way better, right?
Yeah.
Texting is going to be better, or visually it's going to be better. And visually, I think it's better for me because of my migraines. I'm a chronic migraine sufferer, so texting is not going to be the thing I'm going to be doing, or, you know, it's going to be getting in front of a camera to express.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because for me, privacy is a little bit more important than security. In a way, I just assume anything that I share online is going to be
You're right.
Not really as secure as I'm ever gonna like it, sadly. Yeah. And after I accepted that, then my bigger concern is privacy. And again, like you were saying, as an immigrant, you know, even documented immigrant, I've always had concerns about who am I speaking to, how much information I am comfortable sharing. I will talk a little bit more about that, like who we're engaging with online and you know, all of that. But we have a list of kind of some suggestions of some platforms that could be used. And I want to see, I can share my screen so that the list shows up, but I'm not sure if we will lose our interpreters if I do that. So I'll try it.
You will.
I will?
You will. I think you will.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So in that case, I will just say them very clearly. And then again, this will be in our resource package later in a more organized form with all the details of what each platform can be used for. So don't worry about taking notes or remembering all of this right now. So speaking of privacy, my favorite app for privacy is Kik. And Kik, it does not offer video, but Kik is K-I-K, the spelling. It is the least encrypted. it will not be good for security, but you can have group texting on there, and you do not need to share your number with anyone. You can just use a username, and you share the username with anybody. And there you go. And you can make groups on it up to 50 people at a time. So because of this, I've come to really, like Kik for privacy. Then, but Kik used to have a video option. They don't have it now. So for video, I would go to Snapchat. Again, not great for security, but you don't have to share your number. You can just share your username. Snapchat, again, SNAPCHAT. It offers some fun stuff with stickers. I don't really use them. Filters. Those options are good, but you can video chat on Snapchat. And it also has, you can set it so everything basically automatically deletes itself either immediately after viewing or within 24 hours. So again, good for privacy. And then we have things like WhatsApp and Messenger. They offer a wide range of text, audio, video. Security is a little bit better on WhatsApp, Messenger, and apps like that. They're all managed by Facebook. So however you feel about Facebook and their security, but you will have to be sharing your number.
Right.
And Signal, I think, Ignacio, you liked Signal.
Yeah. Somebody told me about it. See, I suck at knowing all these things. People just tell me, this is encrypted. It works. I'm like, okay, I'll go there. So I need to do my homework on this stuff. But, part of me doesn't care because I believe like you. And I think that anything that's on the interweb is just there. Like that they have access to it. Plus I've done porn, so people have seen me naked. I don't care anymore. It's like, it's out there already. I mean, I do care. This is a joke. I do care, but it's like, I think that there's a false sense of the security and it sucks, but when people tell me something's encrypted, I try it out and see, and somebody tells me, Facebook is, FaceTime is, compromised, I get off of it. So I kind of follow what people tell me and see what's the best option in the moment, because everything gets breached at some point or another, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And but good news is Signal, SIGNAL. Signal over the years has proven to be the most secure app out there. And offer end-to-end encryption. And now you can do text, audio, and video on Signal. Yeah, and the last one I'm going to mention, again, there's so many apps out there. The last one I'm going to mention is Telegram. That's TELEGRAM. Telegram, it does require your number, but what I like about it is that, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, if you're doing texting, it offers a wide range of emojis, GIFs, stickers, and it's very use all of that for expression. And it has an option for secure chat. So chats are not by default secure, but you can set it up to be secure. And you can also set it up to auto delete after a certain amount of time.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
That's again some option. It does not have video. It will only be text and audio. And then of course there's video options like Skype and Zoom and Marco Polo if you like a lag, and so many other apps these days. We will be having a list of all of this in our resource package, and please do write us with what you like to use, why you like to use it, and we can add it to this list that will be shared with everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I didn't know that about Signal being the most secure. That's good. Okay, I'll be using that more. So as we get into talking about the different forms that we, establish, we want to just say that for all forms of cyberfucking, we definitely want to make sure that we establish consent. I mean, that is a given. Consent. And we want to be negotiating consistently. Aredvi, you've said degrees of familiarity, and I want to make sure that I understand what you say there, but we want to be setting soft and hard limits. So we want to always have that foundation, you know, and I always say, like, thinking about what our boundaries are, you know, because even though we're doing sexting, we're not physically in front of someone, we are still, you know, we're still engaging. So it can be a nice little game, but it can get serious as well. This is an engagement that we're doing. So we want to make sure that we are saying we can be consenting to sexting for something that is going to physically happen after this isolation. We can be consenting to just fucking around while we're in isolation because we need to have some interaction. It's good to have those boundaries, right? To understand what's happening, right? And then negotiating what's happening. Yeah, I'd like to do this and for an hour today. Let's do this once a week. Let's do this periodically. I'd like to do this once in a while. Anything, you know. It's really good to have that.
Yeah, you mentioned a really good point because I know I definitely have different boundaries for different platforms, for cyber fucking and for in person. There are things I'm willing to engage in as a fantasy. When I would enjoy talking about it and the possibilities, but I know I would not want that in person. I do not want that to happen. So if I'm engaging with someone that I have both options with, I want to be very clear. Yes, let's talk about this thing right now that we're chatting, but just to be clear, do not try this. And again, with consent, consent is both ways. It's expressive, so I will try to express what I'm comfortable with and also ask, inquire about, okay, you did mention this thing when we were cyber fucking, but how does that show up in person, right? And that's what I meant by degrees of familiarity is we're going to be engaging with maybe people who we're meeting for the first time, and we'll cover more on this in later sessions where we talk about anonymous sex. So that's kind of a different context than engaging with someone who's a partner, we've known them for a while, you know, there's different issues around what kind of boundaries we negotiate, scenes we negotiate, how consent works. So again, we'll get more into this in our future sessions, but just some things to think about.
Yeah. Got it. Sorry. Okay. So, and thinking about the differences in terms of like sexting and stuff, I was thinking about what you use in terms of when you text, you know, like the kinds of skills you use. And at first I was like, you know, you said you use a different set of skills when you text. It's like imagination and wordsmithing. But then I was like, that's not always true. Because sometimes you could be like this poet and say all these like sensual things, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you could just be like really fucking raw, you know, and just say some raunchy ass shit and then just be like really direct. So I thought about that and I was like, yeah, you don't have to be a wordsmith, but it is using words to get things across. In this context, you said emojis. I mean, you can use emojis. You don't have to necessarily use words, right? That is also true. That's true.
Yeah. I really feel like I'm a very visual person myself, which is kind of interesting why I like texting. Again, I think it's the privacy, but I really think just acing your emoji game, your sticker game, can just be really good in general. I think those are great skills in general, but especially for sexting, you can really use them. There's just so much wonderful like out there, stickers out there, you know, you can get creative. And I think that's what texting really allows, is because it is so limited, you can really get creative and use your imagination and also spark a lot of things in the other person's imagination. It really kind of make it up to you, but you can really think of it as a work of art. Like you're creating this scene or this context, but you really need to engage with it more intentionally, I think. Like some folks, I feel like kind of sometimes struggle with it. Like you got to be keeping the other party engaged consistently. And
that's just true. Yes. Yeah.
Like doing that through text, it might take a little practice.
See, I'm bad. See, because I think my thing is this, outside of this, isolation, I think that sexting was not my thing because I think I'm so, one, I'm impatient, and two, I'm very direct. So when I am attracted to someone and I want someone, I don't do the cat and mouse thing. I don't do the sex thing. I just go straight to somebody and say what I want. I just do the thing. I just say, I like you. And this is the thing I want. Do you want the same thing? Let's just go do it. It's not the, or I like the visual thing. I don't want to do the texting. I want to see body language. I want to, that. I like to see. I like to see.
Yeah.
I like to see.
That's definitely true. I would say that one limitation with texting is if you're using your phone, you better be a fast typer. Otherwise, like if you want to get into an involved scene, you really want to set it up, please use something that offers a desktop app. And again, I will have that in the list, but like WhatsApp has a desktop app so you can type. And that will make a difference. And the other issue that might come up is autocorrect and sex. Like if your phone really doesn't like certain words, you're going to be either having a lot of fun or miscommunicating, constantly, correcting for fuck as in duck or something else. So just think about, what is your style and what works best and what you have available to you, because again, about accessibility. But at the same time, what I like about texting, you don't have to get dressed up for it. You don't have to go to a quiet place for it. You don't have to look any certain way. And I think of that as a form of accessibility. I can engage in certain things at work, for example. I don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yes. Okay, now the audio. I can get into the audio.
That's all you.
Yes, this is imagination, creativity, visualization. No need for typing or getting dressed. It's hands-free, and also stuff around migraines as well. For me, this is an accessibility thing as well. When too much light or anything is too much for me, when I can't type, when I can't look, and I could just put on headphones and hear something, especially when it's nice and soft and sensual, this could be good. Yeah, so that could be very sweet and sexy. Yes. So I like that. It's definitely, that definitely could be, for me, the audio is more sensual. I can see it's more sensual, or actually a very, it could be very dominating too as well. We'll definitely get into that when we talk about power play. Yes. Yes, I think I can use my mind more. It's like, for me, it's actually like reading. Like when you read and you can just picture things in your mind as you read, you can picture the scenario. When I hear things, that's the way my brain works. I can just picture it in my mind. So when someone speaks to me, it's like a story. It's being told. So you could just lay out the whole thing in my brain, which I love. So that to me is sexy, the audio stuff. Very good.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't have a lot of experience with audio, probably for two reasons, because one, I'm a millennial, and we hate phone calls. We just do anything to avoid a phone call. And also for, some folks who are hard of hearing or have auditory processing issues,
Yes.
which I don't process information very well through my ears alone. So it's not my go-to, but I do appreciate that, like you're saying, it still leaves some things for the imagination. And reading through some works of phone sex operators, they've really given us a lot of wonderful skills for phone sex.
Yes.
Like they're sound engineers,
Yes, yes. Yes, that is true. That is true. It's an art form. It is an art form to be the sounds and the words. Yes, it's poetry. Okay, video, my jam. Video. Okay, so with the video stuff, I love it because it is more preparation. It's more intimate. It's like ritualistic. I love it. I love the prep. I love to get my bed ready. I like to get the toys out. I like to set the lighting, light an incense, just, it's like, it's a date. It's a total date, and also it's not just that. With video, you actually have a lot of choices. You can have a video that shows your entire body, and you can have a full view. You can focus the camera on one part of your body. That's it. And just focus on that. You can tease, like you can just tease with the camera. You can just do so many wonderful things. You could just play with that. I think that, and you can decide whether you want to record things, whether you don't want to record things, when you want to play things for later. Yes, there's a lot of wonderful things you can do with each other. Also, one of the things I thought about too, which I'm totally doing, you know who you are. It's like putting a blindfold on the other person, and actually, telling them what you're doing to them as they're actually doing it to themselves, right? So their eyes are closed. So they're feeling the touch that you want to do to them, but they're doing it to themselves. That could be really nice.
I love that.
Yeah, that could be so fucking hot. Like, I love that, because it's like them in your, telling you, that they're doing that to you. But of course, that is something that I can hear, right? So that I can feel that. But so I'm going to try that. I mean, that the other person could hear.
Right. So you will be watching them while they're blindfolded. They can't see you. You can see them.
Yes.
Doing the things that you're telling them to do. I love that. I love that a lot. That is really awesome. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to try that tonight.
But let us know how it goes.
Yes, I will.
Yes, we need to know. I would say for video, and maybe because again I'm a visual person, please take note of your lighting. Notice if it's daylight, please notice where the window is. Do not have the window in your background. Make sure there is, if you want, again, up to you. If you want dim lighting, set it up. If you want a lot of light, if you need to, want to share a lot of details, make sure there is good lighting. But lighting is everything. Please, think of yourselves as amateur cinematographers. Set it up. Think about your framing. You don't have to, but I think it can be really fun. I think if you're doing video, because it's very intimate. That's what video, I feel like video to me is very intimate. I feel like it's a great option for someone, like a partner, someone I'm already very intimate with, or I want to be that level of intimacy I want to experience, right? Be really fun.
Yes, and also the video can be with sound or without sound as well. You know, it can just be the visual. It can just be the thing that you're watching, which could be so hot. There's so many possibilities here, you know, and I am exploring them all the time. So I say often, I am a sexual scientist. I am out there doing that hard work for you all. So I am out there, you know, experimenting and coming back to share all of these, you know, findings. So I'm out there doing that work, and I will come back and tell you about them.
Thank you. Thank you, Ignacio. We appreciate you so much.
I'm trying. I am doing it. I'm doing the hard work. It's important. It's important. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about video. You mentioned Hangout has wonderful closed caption options.
Oh,
and
yes.
I was thinking, I like to watch my movies with subtitles on. I think I want to see what it would be like to do a video session of cyber fucking with the closed captions on. And I feel like that can be really fun depending again what I'm doing, but I like to read the subtitles of whatever it is I'm watching.
Yeah, I have to say that the Google Hangout, I had a meeting there, and they have the best closed caption that I've seen. Yeah, very good.
We running out of time so quickly. So before we wrap it up again, so much to talk about, and we will be expanding on all of these topics so much more. Like we didn't even talk about porn in video, you know, sharing that, watching together, the ethics of that. We will talk about it in our future sessions, but just a couple of closing things that I wanted to go over. One is, what do you think are ethics of faking it when you are cyber fucking?
Yes.
I don't know if I have a clear answer myself.
Well, I guess it depends, right? Because that can be performative. It can be in that moment, right? I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe that's something we would love to hear from you if you have any thoughts on, you know, what the ethics of like faking an orgasm is. I feel like, especially with audio or sexting, you don't really know, right? And sometimes I feel like, I don't know, if somebody is faking an orgasm or is saying that they are excited in a way that maybe they aren't actually, or doing something to their body that they aren't actually, just to get me excited.
Right.
You know, is that, I don't know.
I think too, it might be using a different word too, because like even saying faking, it shifts the whole conversation, right? Because maybe it's not about faking. Maybe it is just an excitement that's happening, just a pure excitement. Because I know with my medication that I'm on, I can't always come to a full orgasm, but I am super fucking excited, and I get to a peak sometimes, but I'm not faking it. It's there. I'm so goddamn excited, you know. It's not a fake. So I think maybe shifting that word. I think it's about it's an expressiveness maybe for some people, and maybe it's a performativeness for some people, maybe.
Yeah.
But that I would like to see what people got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very true. Like it could be performance. It could be really what you want it to be, right? The other thing I've been thinking, I heard about the term current. I'm having a hard time saying this.
Quaranogamy. 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 Quaranogamy.
Thank you. Yes, and basically it's when you are forced to be monogamous during times of distancing.
That's so funny.
But I just wanted to put a shout out to poly folks right now. If you do have a domestic partner, and however you have negotiated these times and how you're going to engage with your other partners, I think cyber fucking can be used maybe in a way to accommodate your relationships that for whatever reason cannot happen in person right now, or cannot have that aspect to it. And yeah, just again, thinking about negotiating what it's going to be like to taking time, like being in the same house, taking time away from a primary partner or domestic partner to engage with a different partner, right? It would be new for a lot of folks, I feel like.
Yeah. Also, we were talking about like we're talking about like cyber fucking, but what might this feel like for sex workers who do this all the time? They might be doing cyber fucking for a living. And so maybe this is not an option that feels right? So maybe cyber fucking is going to look really different, right? Maybe it's going to take a whole nother form than what they're doing in their work life, right? Maybe it's going to be cyber love making. Maybe it's cyber say sweet nothings in my motherfucking ear. Maybe it's something else, right? So what does that look like? Because I don't want to do the same things I'm doing at work. Or maybe it is. Maybe I want somebody to do the things I do for other people at work to me, right? So that's about the negotiation piece. That's the boundary piece, right? That's that piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we will be expanding on a lot of these topics in our future webinars. Please check out the subjects that are coming up. Our next session is called From Love Letters to Digital Smut. So we'll cover porn, the ethics of it, and also like, I guess it's not going to love letters. I'm so excited about that because that is a true art form.
Yes.
And just the level of intimacy, you know. Yeah, so please check out our future webinars and topics. We will be covering kink. We will be covering fantasy and doing role plays. It's just a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
Yes. We want to say thank you to our interpreters for doing a wonderful job and making this accessible to as many folks as possible. Thank you so much, Rodney. Thank you so much, Felice. And we want to make sure that we continue to ask for your support. Thank you to our fans asking, and we continue to ask for donations so we can stay alive and do this work and continue to produce materials for you all. Please sign up for our newsletter, the YouTube channel, and I think we have a couple of more minutes for some questions that I think some people wrote in the chat thing before we end.
Yes. So I don't know, Ignacio, if you can view the questions or should I read them?
You should, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have a question saying, could you talk about working the voice? Like playing with sound, volume, pacing, texture, etc.
On like audio?
I think audio and probably video, right? Those are the voice options.
Like talk about working the voice and pacing.
Volume, yeah. Yeah, well, I think, you know,
that is important. Yeah.
Some people just have a sexy voice or just know how to put their sexy voice on. And
someone said, don't know if I sent the question in right. I think somebody just put that in, so make sure.
Oh, okay, is that the same person?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, no, different question. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue on. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, again, I think always slowing down, really saying the words clearly. I know I appreciate that. In general, I feel like with dirty talking, people tend to get very quiet and kind of speak in a way that I don't even know what they're saying. And I'm just like assuming saying something sexy. And so I still appreciate it, but I would really love to know what they're saying. And so I would say, yeah, use that. And the other thing is, I personally prefer deeper voices. So I feel like my sexy voice gets deeper too. So you can play around. It's like, where do you find your voice sexy? And because where you find your voice sexy, that's how you're going to show up. And that's how the other person is going to feel it too, right? Yeah.
I'm laughing here because I'm thinking two things. One, I'm thinking about an ex who was deaf, that the way they used to sign to me when they were being very aggressive, because you're saying the voice, and it was very like, very like that, it wasn't very like seduction, it was very hard, which made me think of this because it's interesting. In asking about the voice, I would say the first thing I always think about is it depends, right? It does, to me, it depends on the person, that if you care about what the person likes, right? Because I know that sometimes people talk to me in a voice. Sometimes people talk to me in a voice that they think is sexy. And to me, it's like, this is totally not sexy to me. I am totally not turned down. Please shut the fuck up. Like, I just want you to shut up. And so I'd rather have someone ask me, what is sexy to me? Like, I want to know what turns you on. What do you like to hear? What is the thing that makes you tingle when you hear it, and then I will cultivate that sound to, turn them on. Or even if you don't want to ask somebody, it's how you approach a person as you speak to them. When you make certain sounds, how do they react? Put that shit in a little box in the back of your head. Next time, make another sound, or how you react. Like, you collect those things. I like doing that shit. I do intel. Again, I'm a scientist, people. You get that intel, and you just think those are the sounds that they like, oh, I like it when you do this. I like it when you do that. And that's how because I think, to me, when I think about interaction, to me, it is an art form. It is about examining a person, really looking at them, and really taking in information about what they like, who they are, how they receive pleasure. If you're not paying attention, then you're not doing your job as a lover.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like how you talk about showing up as your whole self, to bringing your full self to a sexual interaction. And again, it's really up to you what you want to bring, but you kind of get out what you put in. Even if it is with a new partner, with an anonymous partner, right? I feel like that's still true, which we have another question talking about being a first timer, and how to find someone to try cyber companionship with. As someone who really likes privacy and anonymity, I think I would say, honestly, dating apps. There's a lot of people looking for cyber companionship, sexting, other forms of intimacy on dating apps. And I've had a lot of luck personally. But again, you really wanna figure out where your boundaries are, who you're looking for, and just kind of skip over that small talk, because get to what works for you, so you can find partners who may be good for whatever it is you're planning to do. It requires a very clear understanding of exactly what works and doesn't work for you for that context. And again, for dating apps, I can put a little list of some stuff on the resource package as well, including some apps that offer group play, and offer if you want to like find a couple to have cyber companionship with. And let's see. We have questions about edging in times of social distancing. And they're saying, can we talk about that, and how to do giving folks daily instructions around edging and orgasms? Interesting. Using the rule of distancing to engage restraint as a sexual practice instead of isolation. I like that.
Ooh, I love it. Yes. That is fun. Yeah. So, I mean, what are we talking about? You have the answer. Whoever asked that, it's like, are you doing it? It sounds good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like that goes a little bit maybe into
yes.
power play, right?
Yeah, the power play stuff. Y'all like talking the advanced stuff. Yeah. So edging, like what is edging? So edging is a practice where you kind of bring someone or bring yourself to the edge of like coming, and then you have them stop. And then it's like, it's almost torture, but it's a delicious torture. So probably through what I think what they're saying is maybe through a practice through video or through sexting, having a practice with someone where they have them go to edging and not come to orgasm at all. It's not coming to orgasm, which we say is probably a deeper conversation for our power webinar. Yes. What I say, yeah, that would be absolutely fucking hot and fun to do. Edging. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the idea of thinking about kind of the restraints as an opportunity to experience new ways of showing up and new ways of exploring, you know, what is out there. So thank you for that comment. Yeah, it's like you can build a kind of trust with someone through instructing them what to do throughout the day. You know, it's absolutely, there's so many possibilities.
And it's a great buildup. It's a great buildup to the possibility of the time when you do allow for that orgasm to happen. It's beautiful. Yeah. Just beautiful.
All right, we're getting close to time, but I want to see if there's any pressing questions. And please do send us more questions if you have, or if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to contact us through our website. We do Q&As, and we'll do more of them, or we can cover it in our next webinar sessions. So if, you know, we can kind of compile a list of questions and topics that you all are curious about. Yeah.
Okay. It is 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Folks are sharing a lot of great resources with us, which I'm really appreciating. Thank you, everyone. Again, we will add all the resources that you share with us in our documents later, so you can all get them.
Yes. Thank you all so much. And please, if you can, if you haven't already, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and link to us on all social media. We are Heal to End, HEAL, the number 2 END. Thank you so much for supporting us. And we look forward to seeing you on our other webinar series.
Yes, thank you for joining us. You all have a great Sunday.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right.